Welcome to the last respawn show. You're live.
Hi.
Everyone can hear you. How you doing?
I'm all right.
Good,
How are
good,
you?
good. Oh, it's been chaotic so far. I've been, trying to do a live show outside in the middle of the woods is very hard. It's very hard. I don't care, Dr.
I
Bear.
could imagine.
Oh yeah, I mean, we'll get into some good camping questions for you in a little bit, but well, tell the viewers a little about yourself.
Tonight, you.
Yeah. So I'm Fanci. I am a mostly YouTuber as of right now. I mainly play the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, other ASIMs as well, but yeah. I yap a lot on Twitter with a lot of hot takes and memes and dumb posts, but
Oh,
yeah,
that's what.
in the gaming.
Yeah, that's how I came across you. I noticed how vocal and passionate you were. And I reached out to a lot of Texas Chainsaw creators like Mindy, Arctic. Trying to think who else. Did we reach out to Hack and Slash? We reached out to a lot of people, and I'm glad we got you, because I honestly like how vocal you are on Twitter, especially about the changes, just about everything about and it's good because that it fuels the fan base. It shows these negative people that the game isn't dead, because a lot of people are like, oh, Texas is dead, it's gonna die when it leaves Game Pass, and you're just like, can people not enjoy things these days? Like, damn.
Yeah, it's definitely not dead. I mean, with games like this, obviously they're not gonna have the numbers like Dead by Daylight, or like a major thing with a lot of different franchises and IPs and stuff. But the game is still going strong, and I definitely think with year 2, I definitely think it's only gonna go up from here. I think it's gonna pick up with more content, and I'm really excited to see what they've got in store.
let's segue into that. Year 2. All right, if I press this button, there we go. This week, Monday, we finally spilled the beans that all us Texas players have been wondering. Like I just said before we took a break, next week is the 1-year anniversary of the game, and a lot of players were like, what's going on here? What's going on? So we got the first picture here is the content pass that goes for $20. With this content pass, we're gonna get a new victim, early access to a new mode called Rush Week, a new family member, and a bunch of cosmetic stuff that's too tiny for me to read. I'll bring it up on my phone. But how do you feel about this, Fanci?
When I saw this post, I was actually like, I was in the middle of a match and I was fighting for my life, fighting against Johnny, and I looked over and like I saw my Discord popping off, blowing up, and I'm like, oh my god, something was posted, what's going on here? And I looked and I was just like shook. But I'm really excited for it. I think everything that's included for only $20, I actually think it's a pretty good deal. Because I mean, normally victim, family, just like one character is $10.
Facts.
Cosmetic packs, what, like $5? So all of that, I think it's a pretty good deal for the price, and I think it's good that they're showing a sort of roadmap, even if it's not like definite. I think showing, like, hey, here we have a plan for the next 6 months, and kind of just giving people hope that the game is still definitely putting stuff out. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, this is the state of gaming now, which I personally have mixed feelings too. But if we want to compare things, we could look at Mortal Kombat 1, which announced like a combat. It's kind of year 2, and that's like $50. I mean, sure, you're getting like I guess more characters and a story mode, but like you just said, a victim and a family member what did they go for again? They go
I think
for
it's $9.99 usually
Right.
each.
Dr. Bear has a good question. Do you think we'll get a dev stream this month? Which was going to be one of my questions to you. Is how do you feel about kind of Gun's lack of communication? They've kind of been like quiet ever since that little mess of a live stream they had last time, where Wes, he was sick, and poor I forget his name,
Matt, yeah.
Matt, poor Matt. Oh, he has PTSD.
Yeah.
But yeah, how do you feel about that?
Well, I really hope that we do get some sort of stream for the anniversary, and I mean, I want another lore stream first of all.
No,
But,
yeah, that was great. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I hope that we get another stream and more of just, kind of I think doing those sort of streams, not just the roadmaps and stuff, but doing the sort of streams, they help people to kind of like be like, okay, we have contact or communication from the devs, we're getting that. And I mean, like I said, I think the roadmap is a good start, but I would like to see a stream. And along with that, like I said, like a lore stream or, something kind of tying up the ends with Maria and that whole story as, we kind of go into this next sort of era, as they've hinted.
Yeah, I agree. Dr. Bear and me we're huge Texas Chainsaw Massacre fans. We almost play every night together. And even we were like a little worried, like, okay, this has got to be the week they say something, because next week is leaving Game Pass and it's in 1 year. And even I was like, listen, I love the game, but Evil Dead the game ripped my heart out when it died in a year. Like that, like ripped my heart out. Did you play Evil Dead?
I didn't play it, but I knew people who played it, and I think I watched some like gameplays and stuff of it, but I had heard that a lot of people were upset about how short it was, and with another ASIM, they kind of walked into it kind of scared, like, hey, is this gonna be this part 2? But I totally get that.
I think there is some troubled backstory to that we'll find out one day. I did work New York Comic Con last year and ran into one of the Evil Dead game developers, and I was like, dude, what happened? And he was like, I can't say anything right now. And I was like, NDA, and he just nodded, and I was like, damn, dude. And I made a joke, well, I look forward to the one YouTuber that does an hour video about this.
Eventually,
yeah, like we'll find out what happened, because there's some drama. Anyway, we're talking about Texas. So we what do you think Rush Week is? Have you heard anything about this? What could that be?
Well, anyone I've talked to about it, we've all kind of had very different ideas. Like, me and my one friend, we were talking about it, and at first I was kind of thinking, like, maybe it has, like, having to do with rushing, where, well, see, in, like, Greek life and sororities, fraternities, there's Rush Week, and it's usually in the fall, and it's sort of like that initiation. I'm not super familiar with it, but, like the general thing.
Right.
And they're college students, minus, Virginia and Anna, but, so, I don't know if it's something to do with that, but what I was kind of thinking, like, gameplay-wise, just off the top of my head, was, maybe it's sort of like Friday the 13th, Killer Clowns, where you have to, like, gather the right items, maybe fix up a car, and then whoever gets to the exit first, that they're declared the winner. But the thing that I don't get is on the, like, the picture, it shows like a pillow and then feathers, and I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? So, I don't know. I'm very curious to find more about that.
Do you think it could be just a deathmatch mode?
I mean, I think anything's possible.
Yeah.
But
what would you like it to be?
Personally, I think if it was like a family versus victim sort of thing, like trying to complete an objective where, I mean, kind of like what I was saying, like with the car, the truck, or I don't know, just I don't know.
No, yeah,
Something
I mean, it worries me
fun.
that it says rush week because like a lot of
Mhm.
people are not crazy about the rush meta, and that's I feel like that
Yeah.
forced Gun's hand to make such drastic changes that I want to get into with you for a little bit to see how you feel about the how they changed Grandpa. But yeah, like that when I
Mhm.
saw that, I was like, it's cool we're getting a new mode. But Rush Week, huh? Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a triggering word in the community
yeah.
right now. It's a little scary,
But I
but
know Dr. Bear, he's been wanting something new, a new
mhm.
mode. Like I think a lot of players want a new mode, and I was like, I don't even know how you could do a new mode. So I'm very curious.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I mean, even if it is just a deathmatch mode, that would be interesting. Like I guess making victims more lethal somehow. I guess. I mean, I guess they could just do a
Mhm.
backstab and that kills a family. But yeah, I guess if they do a live stream next week, that would be a nice kind of way to celebrate the anniversaries. Like, here's this new mode coming out. We're gonna play it
Definitely.
and show it to you. So, uh,
Yeah, I would love any sort of preview to be able to the hype is definitely they need to really ride on that hype with the anniversary for sure to really grab those Xbox Game Pass people, give them a
mhm.
reason to really want to stay. I mean, I think the content pass is definitely it's very like attractive,
Yeah,
but
no, yeah, it's a good
I
deal.
think they're going to need more for some because some are just going to be like paid DLC, a new game mode, maybe I'll
Yeah.
see other people play it then decide to buy it, but they really need something to get people to, want to hit that purchase button like now.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if the game's been on sale a couple times, so there'll probably be a little bit of a sale, maybe a sale on the anniversary or sale at the end of the month because it doesn't
Mhm.
seem like we're getting anything new major this month. Maybe we'll get like a skin. Do you think we're gonna get anything new this month?
I'm on the fence about it
Mm.
because when I was looking at the like what they have on the entire roadmap, I was thinking, well, they only mention one victim and one family member for the
Mm.
span of 6 months. So, I mean, it is possible that they could drop family and victim here in September, October, and then stretch it out until, February, March. Or, now, I don't know for sure, but I was thinking maybe what if they, really went out and did something big for the anniversary,
Hmm.
and then what they have mentioned in the content pass, family and victim, maybe they don't release those until,
Yeah,
December.
that's a different
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, because there's been almost, I mean, I guess leaks of Chop Top, at least voice lines
Hmm.
referencing him, and there's been I've seen people do coverage being like they may have gotten the rights to Texas Chainsaw 2 and the remake, and I'm curious, have you heard that? What do you think about that?
Um, all I'm gonna say on that I don't have any official confirmation or denial of that, but I am very hopeful that they could maybe get that. If not now, then eventually, for sure.
Yeah, so you would personally want that or from those movies as well? Is
Yeah,
it?
I mean, I think anything to help build on the franchise because it's so limited. Just trying to be like, we're only gonna cover the very first movie, and then I mean they can keep making all the original content,
Yeah.
but I do think it does kind of limit them.
But that's the funny thing too, because I've seen people be like, "When are we getting characters from the movie?" And I'm just like, "Well,
Hmm.
we're playing the prequel, you know? Like
Yeah.
this is like the official prequel, which is really cool." But it's like, yeah, they could add those characters, but then it's just like, I guess you're kind of breaking the lore, or I don't,
Mhm.
maybe they just don't want to step on sacrilegious kind of stuff there. And that way with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, sorry. That's a more fun entry there, especially with Chop Top. And then
Mhm.
the remake, which I think somebody was saying that they might add like the sheriff into it, which I was like, all right, because I always joke with Dr. Bears, like they should just add a killer with a gun, just
Yeah. And I would miss every shot. I'd end up shooting Grandpa. It would be a mess,
yeah,
but I would love it.
yeah, it would be such a game changer, like we saw with Maria Flores and Hands. Those
Mhm.
characters brought like new changes to gameplay, which was great. But yeah, the other thing here, we'll move on to, that is your artwork. We'll get back into that. But yeah, they show new execution packs, the new Leatherface skin, but Victim Hair Pack for $10. How you feel about that?
Honestly, I was someone who, I don't know if I was the first, but I know I was one of the first that vouched for Julie with her hair down. I made
I saw
this
that.
edit.
I saw that. Yes.
Yeah. And that was back in October, and I think that was actually me and Andy Cleave's like very first interaction ever was over that on Reddit, and I did not expect that many people to like actually want that. So I'm honestly pretty excited. I think the price, I think maybe this is something that could go for, $6.99 like the other stuff. But then
Yeah.
again,
It depends how
we
much different
have-
hairstyles we get.
right. And we have 8 characters now. We don't know when exactly we're getting this, so it could maybe be 9 by then, maybe even 10. It might be exactly, $1 each. But I'm excited. I'm very curious though about especially for the guys. Like I can't imagine Leland with anything else. So I have no clue what they're gonna do for him.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Dr. Bear says Cook needs long hair cosmetic. Well, unfortunately, it's only victims, and honestly, hair in video games is always the hardest thing to make or animate properly. So I'm not as shocked that they go the $10 route. So hopefully we get some fun, interesting. We're getting a lot of cosmetic. I personally, I don't know if I have bought one cosmetic for this game because I was so scared. Evil Dead really gave me PTSD because I bought almost everything for Evil Dead, and then only for it to be like, hey, so even though a new movie came out, it's dead. I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
But now that we got a year 2, I'm like, all right, maybe it's time to start dressing up my.
Add the cart. Yep.
Yeah. Oh! Dr. Bear corrected me. I always forget. I did buy the Nicotero. I bought it when it was on sale. I think I did. But yeah, Leatherface.
That's a good one.
No, yeah, it was. Trick or Treat Studios is doing the official mask, and I want it so bad. It looks so good.
Yeah, I think I saw that. Yeah.
The Basement Cook says no. We need shirtless Cook. Oh boy. I mean, Dr. Bear's been advocating for that one too.
Yeah.
I
know
say
there's this one guy on Reddit. I don't know. I don't even know. He's been posting for a while, and he always talks about shirtless Cook, and like, it's a joke within like my server with shirtless Cook and then basement Cook. So yeah, it's shirtless Cook in the basement. That would be an interesting one for sure.
Dr. Bear is a huge fan of Cook's FUBU pants now. Yeah, I saw you rocking his little cute gas station outfit. I was like, oh shit. I want him to serve me gas. All right. I kind of want Breaking Bad Cook with the Cook apron and his tidy whities. I don't know if they could get away with that. Fingers crossed. Speaking about that's a good segue for outfits. I did show your artwork here where Maria, you drew outfits for Maria here, like old school, like fashion designer here. Is this a hopeful outfit you want for Maria Flores?
I've been drawing some different stuff for all of them. I'm still working on Danny because he was just a mess to figure out. But Yeah, I think it would be nice to have something a little different. And when I was trying to like think of something for each character, I was like, well, what's something that they don't have, but it would
Sure.
still really fit them? And I thought with Maria, we don't really see, I don't even think she has like any green swatch. She doesn't have orange. She has the one that's like a fuchsia, but I don't know. I think the long skirt, I think it would go well with like Anna's dress pack. So,
Yeah. The two
yeah.
sisters are going out for a nice Sunday date or something.
Yeah, some good old barbecue.
Yeah, good old barbecue before all the terrible things. I'm always paranoid about the cosmetics if they're too bright. Like I don't want to stand out, you know?
I know.
That's my
Yeah.
other thing about buying the cosmetics. I'm just like, oh, like does this help me or is it make it easier
Yeah.
for
Well, if I know I'm gonna play a character that I want to be a distraction, I'll wear something bright on purpose.
That's a
Like
good
with
point.
Anna, I'll wear something. Well, with Anna, I don't really care what to wear, but like with Leland, whenever I want to fight, I'll always put on the bright white jacket or, just something that'll be, distracting. But that's the thing I hate with Connie and Julie is just everything they have. I mean, the new packs, they're dark,
Mhm.
but they show skin. Like you can see their shoulders. Connie's hair, like
Yeah.
get her some hair dye. Go to the supermarket, get her a box of hair dye because it is just like she's so visible from everywhere. And
Yeah.
I'm like I'm trying to be stealthy, but then yeah, it's
You
it's hard.
you stick out like a sore thumb. It's fair. It's fair.
Hmm.
So let's get into the biggest update, the biggest change that has happened with the grandpa rework. How do you feel about that? Especially, I think there was the latest update where they added a suffocating grip to level 1, and they buffed it. I think too. I think it went from 20 to
Hmm.
25. I honestly, my personal opinion, I don't. I felt like things were fine before all this. Was I nuts? What's your honest opinion?
I think. Well, I understand that they wanted to like try to make Grandpa really be more of this, viable utility and everything, but I just feel like it wasn't. I don't know. I think the Grandpa changes initially. It was like everyone. I mean, well, a lot of the family mains weren't happy. I think general players, victim mains, we were all happy. It was like finally exteriors, not just level one, so they don't just have to feed Grandpa once and then have all this intel.
Right.
But then when they did the suffocating grip change, it basically just did the same thing they did with exterior, but worse because, suffocating grip has much more of a higher consequence than exterior does. So, it's there for no reason should someone take one hit, if not any hit, have high strength, high toughness, and still be dying. Like, that, it just, to me, it just, like, it nullifies the entire mechanic and it makes it just worthless.
Right.
And I think it's like, if they want to take care of choose fight, the nerf choose fight, isolate the actual issue, don't go and, ruin the entire mechanic. Because now, at least in my opinion, it feels like it's just making it's like it's incentivizing rushing even more because now it's like, well,
No,
I can't
yeah,
defend
that's a good
myself
point.
or my teammate, and it's just like I'm fine with the grandpa changes, but I'm not fine with suffocating being level one.
Right.
It's redundant.
No, yeah, that I mean, like I was playing with Dr. Bear the other day, but like some victim characters are getting around there where even I'm like, oh, I thought we had suffocating grip, and he's like, oh, they got grappler, they're fine. I'm like, all
Hmm.
right, I'm so like this, but you did touch on a point there. Feeding grandpa has been a problem, especially with me and Dr. Bear. We love to play. Honestly, we love to play both. We go quick match, and most of the time we get family. But
Yeah.
it took a while for Dr. Bear to warm up to victim. But I was like, nah, you gotta play victim, bro. It's like Splinter Cell, like Spies versus Mercs. There's a rush there. So we're playing better. We're getting better. But as family members, I guess we're kind of family mains. Like, is that right, Dr. Bear? I feel like we're family mains. Um, when we play with people, I'm always like, I was like, dude, are you feeding them? Because if we're not playing with someone that's communicating, most of the time they're not feeding grandpa. And a lot of times when we play with randoms, it's very rare that they feed grandpa. So I see why they did this to make grandpa important, because he's very important. You know,
he is one of the greatest assets that the family can have, and just if you show him some love, he will definitely help the game in the long run. And I mean, like with me, I play everyone, both sides, but when I play family, I tend to play a sissy, and I always try to wear Universal Donor. I always try to run it, and it's just 3 buckets to get a full vial. So to me, I always go feed grandpa. Like, I don't care what's going on. I don't care if they're rushing. Unless they're right in my face, I'm going to feed grandpa. And because in the long run,
slows them down.
If they have to end up, if they have to drop well, if they have to do that, and grandpa's level 0, and then they start taking it slow, then it's just like, you've got to just do it, and it takes way longer.
Yeah.
So I think communication is, on either side, is always going to be the best asset. Like, that is the most important thing to have. And I mean, even if you're not on mic with someone, if you're not in a party, just typing it out, just something, using family focus, and just doing what you can. So everyone's covering ground.
Just listen to us when we're talking to you like that. Me and Dr. Bear are like, listen, bro, we know you're not talking. Just go where we tell you. Just please, just go and stay there. And so many times, I know it's boring. I know it's boring to just patrol an area, and the minute they leave, everybody left through your exit because they were just waiting. Dr. Bear agrees. Universal Donor is huge now. You mean leaving doors unlocked is frowned upon? Oh my god, yeah, we were playing Victims Against the Sissy. It must have been their first time. I think a lot of people were playing this game for the first time because maybe it's leaving Game Pass, and they're just like, oh, I better try this out. I've never played it because it's leaving Game Pass. But yeah, Sissy player Nancy's house just left every door down the house open, and I was like, bro, house is open.
Yeah, with new players, it's definitely the big thing is to just tell them that, or to just make sure, because the worst thing is when you have a cook on Nancy's house, family house, and they're not putting padlocks down, and even worse, if they're not locking the door. Yeah, it's definitely can be definitely difficult, but
I know you posted a very long and very great post about what could be changed after this whole grandpa meta. So if you want to get into that a little bit again, because you had some great points there. What do you think needs to be fixed to make both parties happy? And I know the biggest thing is like they need to stop listening to like people on Reddit. You know, they need to listen to like their broader audience here.
Well, I definitely, just off the top of my head, I definitely think that there needs to be something to help slow down the rush meta in general, and that goes for both sides. Because if victims aren't rushing, or whether they're rushing or not, if you have family rush down to the basement, it just causes issues. Because if they go, maybe they'll get a win, maybe they won't. I know Johnnies are infamous for doing that.
Oh yeah, when Dr. Bear plays Johnny, I'm like, get down there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you have communication, I think it can work.
Yeah.
But when you just have a random Johnny that's just going around the basement, they pop scout on, so then, they're swinging around aimlessly. It's just like, my problem with it is, I feel like it's so much better if they're doing that upstairs. It's like if they're gonna swing and, swing across the map, do it upstairs, because once the victims are out of the basement, if you're still down there, if you're on one side of the map and then they all sneak up the other side and you're still down there looking for them, it's all about knowing when to pick and choose, when to grapple, and, who to chase. but then also knowing like, okay, if I'm gonna go spend some time in the basement, let's look at the points on the scoreboard. Let's see, okay, does it look like people are upstairs? Does it look like they're all still, under 100? And kind of just really gauging everything. That's the whole thing, is keeping track of everything. And then, so I kind of thought, if there, no, I mean, I don't know if it would work or not, but like a penalty to rushing, but then also a penalty to basement rushing.
What kind of penalty are you thinking? Yeah.
Well, for family, if they were to go into the basement, then maybe give them either a faster stamina drain or some damage, like less damage. Some sort of reduction to discourage them from wanting to go down there. And it's not so much to give victims an advantage, like people have been, saying. It's more to be like, hey, you need to help your team. You want to stay up top and help your team. Don't, go down there. If Leatherface is down there, that's fine. But, when you start sending everyone down, if you're not on comms, it's difficult. But in terms for victim, the culprits I always see doing it more than anyone, it's always Connie. Connie, like, it's always Connie. It's always that damn toolbox. Like, I'll just be, playing little Anna, Maria, even Leland, with fucking 10 stealth, just getting my bones scrapped real quiet. And then it's Connie. And I'm just like, then Grandpa's awake, Hitchhiker's in the basement, Johnny's, doing something that's concerning. And I'm just like, I know people are going to disagree. Some people are, but I will definitely say Connie is a huge issue when it comes to the rush meta. I feel like
that's a good point. That's a good. You have a good point there. I definitely like see Connie's always first, and then I'm rushing to get them, and when I'm playing victim, I'm on the mic like, oh, there's no Leatherface. Let's take it a little easy with the noise, guys. We can unlock all the doors, and then everyone's. And I'm like, cool, all right. Well.
And then Johnny's waiting.
Sissy Hitches, everybody's in the basement. Basement party.
Exactly. Now you're seeing basement cook. Like, I just earlier I was playing a couple of matches, and there was a basement cook in the basement almost the entire match. And 2 of us got out, but I was just like, what are you doing? Like, he didn't get any kills, I don't think. And it was just, it was a strange strat. But yeah, I mean, like, the thing with victims, like Connie, that's the thing. It's the way she's built, though. So you kind of have to blame the game design, not so much the player, because the way Connie's set up, she's very weak. So what are her best attributes? Proficiency, stealth, quick and quiet, getting things done very efficiently. She can automatically, counter Cook. She can pop a lock. If Cook's not on the map, that just made it a hell of a lot easier for Connie.
Facts.
So it just, her ability, her stats, just everything have made it so much in where it's just like, yeah, we're just going to run max proficiency and take our chances, And then her side of the tree, it's all meta. Like, she has one side of the tree that's meta, and that's, it's basically the same issue like with Cook, like with Hitchhiker, especially with Hitchhiker, where they have this one side of the tree that's very meta, very strong, and that's all they're running most of the time. Extra drip and then whatever else is good. And, they're popping through locks. They're just going through that because it's when I think about Connie, it reminds me of when I did my 15 Toughness Sunny challenge, where it really is a risk it all type of thing. Because if you get caught, you're dead. And especially with Connie, she is such a high value target. Even now, like, we have Virginia, who's strong. We have, not as strong without fast hands now, but we have Danny. We have other characters, but it's still Connie. Like, you see Connie or Danny, that's who you're gonna tunnel, like, until they're gone, dead. Yeah, and it's just like, because they're so vital to the team. But so many times you'll see Connie rush to car battery or rush to, whatever door like smoke room or front of Nancy's, and then they're out, and they won't communicate half the time. And it's just like, that's the problem, is the way they're built, the stats, the ability, and, you know, I don't really know what would be the fix for
I
a
don't know,
character like that.
What do you feel about I don't know if it was you or or Doctor, someone mentioned it, that the family can move around during the Leatherface cutscene, because like victims can start getting detangled while Leatherface is chopping somebody up, and somebody was like, well, maybe victims or family should be allowed to move during that as well. What do you feel about that?
I think I've seen that a lot, especially recently, and I completely get their point, because when you have setup, you know, like, especially Nancy takes forever to set her traps up. Sissy,
Oh god, yeah. I, as a Nancy main, yeah. I love my Nancy, but oh my god, the barbed wire. That's a good question, Dr.
They
Bear.
need to increase or decrease the speed, buff her some, but you know, even like with Cook, and I think with their spawn points too on some of the maps, just starting like so far from the center, that if they did start when victims started, it would help. But then at the same time, it's like, think about the Johnnies, you know, where it's like, it's just, they're just waiting at the basement even sooner.
Right.
But the thing that I was thinking is, I mean, I don't think it would be that big of a deal if they did, because of the rush meta. It would at least give them time to kind of, you know, prepare for it a little quicker. Yeah. Either...
I feel like people who've been playing the game for a year, you know, it's a cool cutscene, but I think it's time to retire it.
Yeah, like the grandpa. Yeah.
Oh yeah. They retired the grandpa cutscene. That I totally forgot.
I missed that.
I mean, it's fair. Yeah. And I think you were a part of the people that were posting of how the tanker was in the basement of Slaughterhouse. I totally forgot that was a thing, and that was such a headache for family. It was like, dude, why is that?
Oh, I know.
Why is that down there?
Well, and that was, I think, because for a while it was before stun immunity. So I mean, you could just keep, if I'm remembering correctly, just keep stabbing them. If you had a Leland and an Ana tag team your ass down there, like the valve was getting open, it's like, it's a GG's at that point. But yeah, I feel like now though, with hands, I wouldn't mind seeing the basement valve, even like one possible spawn, return. But I do think it should be limited on the maps. I think, you know, if they're gonna do it on Slaughterhouse, put it back in the lair. Either put it in the lair or put it back in the furnace room. Don't put it, you know, right close to the exit. But I think it would be good on Nancy's too, like in that pump room. And I thought I saw a photo of concept art that it was supposed to be down there.
Interesting.
And then they had changed it. So I'll have to see if I can find that. But I wouldn't mind if there was like one, just to kind of change things up. But I definitely not all three. Definitely not.
That's fair. Dr. Bear has a good question. What are your top 3 victims?
Like my favorite or the strongest?
Oh, well, I guess who do you think are the top 3 of the game in general? Like the best, I guess, to play.
Well, in terms of like meta, I would say Connie, Ana. Honestly, I mean, Danny, he's strong, but it's hard because he gets tunneled so easily that he just doesn't have enough defense. Yeah. But probably those 3, I would say.
Okay, and then as your fave.
Meta. In terms of my favorite would definitely be Ana, for sure. I love Ana. Maria, I've had a lot of fun with her.
Yeah, me too.
And then, I mean, I like Virginia. Virginia can be very...
I like Virginia
just
too.
Throw the powder.
Yeah, her little blue farts.
A lot of fun.
Her little.
Well, the funniest thing is when you gate slam them, throw the powder, and then if you have healing clouds on, you're just sitting there on top of them, like the biggest ass ever. Just like I'm gonna, I don't want to waste the powder, but Virginia has definitely been a fun new mechanic.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Leland. I love Sunny when I actually use his ability.
Mm-hmm.
But I love all of them.
I think Virginia needs a buff, especially when it comes to the blood buckets, because nobody uses that.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody uses that. There needs to be some sort of buff. I don't know what it could be, but there needs to be something, because it kind of sucks why they took away fast hands. I get why they took away. I'm always changing up her my loadout with her, because
Same.
I feel like I found one that's good. I'm gonna try to load it up right now and tell you, but I won't take too much of your time. But what would you like to see from the new victim and family member as far as new abilities or perks? We like I said with hands, we saw some great changes. What would you like to see from the new family and victim character?
Well, with the current state of the game, taking that into account, I'll start with family. The biggest thing I do not want is another trapper.
Okay.
I would love, well, I'm not going to say love, but because it really just depends on their tree, but I wouldn't mind to have another chaser, just because right now we only have Hitch and Sissy, and then, everyone else is just, back and forth between the wall gaps and everything.
Dr. Bear agrees. No more traps. We need another chaser. That's fair, yeah.
Right. I mean, if they do more traps, then there definitely would have to be more changes.
Yeah, but, with hands, Nancy, Hitch, and I guess Cook too. You got 4 people there. I told Dr. Bear if they do add a Chop Top, I feel like they need to add a family victim that can jump through windows or go down wells after victims. Like maybe it's like an ability that you could use once and needs to like reload, but that would totally change the meta of people like well in it, because they're like, oh, Chop Top's chasing me. He could just pounce me at the bottom and I'm screwed. So what do you feel about that? Would that be Cook needs wireframe? I mean, he is he is a little skinny, but I don't think he's that skinny.
Yeah, they'll just shimmy, just oil him up a little, it'll be fine.
Oh yeah,
but
dump some oil on me.
Yeah, he's got it laying around, but I think traps definitely a big no. But I think if they could either jump over the barricades, maybe take the well, something, it would be interesting.
Yeah,
but
a new transversal chaser.
Yeah, but the biggest thing would have to be making sure that how their loadout, how their tree is set up, what perks can they get, just in terms of balance. Because if you give him like the same exact perks as Hitch, like the biggest thing that I don't want is, if we do get Chop Top, is for them to do what they did with Anna and Maria. It's just copy and paste. I do not want 2 Hitches. That will be there's got to be something different.
No, that's fair.
But yeah, and then in terms of victim, I don't know. I mean, I feel like we need more. I know family mains are definitely gonna, probably not agree with me, but I would love to see another defensive character. Because I mean, Virginia, she has her own defense, so you can run her with proficiency, but then be able to defend yourself.
Should they give victims traps? Should there be a victim character with traps?
That is something I've heard, and I agree. I think yes. I think they would have to be limited, and
like
maybe
Virginia,
it could be maybe more like on a charge, to sort of speak, where it disintegrates, or like it's not where you can constantly keep trapping them and then put them in basically like a stun lock.
Yeah.
But if it was like a trap that they could place and then not be able to like keep resetting it, I think that could be something. But I don't know exactly how it would work for victim. That's kind of the thing
Fair.
that I don't know. But some sort of defense for sure, I think would be definitely interesting to
No, yeah, that
to
would be
add with
interesting.
that.
Dr. Bear says Johnny's ass needs to be bigger. I don't know. That
Buff it,
he's got some badonkadonk there already. I don't know.
buff the cake.
But yeah, I looked at my Connie build. I'm running conditioned, but doesn't kill you, and tougher stuff. And then I put a lot of points into proficiency, a little bit into endurance and toughness for her. And I got that stamina drain because I like to drop it and try to lockpick stuff when they're right in front of me. It's pretty fun. I'm
Yeah.
not to buff it, buff Johnny's ass.
Wait, was that a Virginia's build?
My Virginia build, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm a huge fan of Barbara Crampton, and I was so heartbroken when they took away Fast Hands. But I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I saw that's the one thing with Arctic is like I like watching his videos, but that dude is always looking for builds that break the game. I'm like, God.
Yeah.
I'm like, my dude.
Yeah. I won't say, much of a comment there, but just, because I don't want to get into controversy, but
No worries.
again, but that's the one thing I think when people talk about like that, it's a struggle because it's like people want to make content, and I get it that they want views. It's a business at the end of the day. But at the same time, it's like when you're constantly promoting unhealthy metas and or exploits, and I'm not saying he's promoting those. I don't know. I don't watch him anymore.
He
But-
does make builds that break the game. Like they should hire him as a tester because like the stuff I see him doing is like, God damn, dude. But yeah, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. But yeah, I think it's just, and this goes for any creator. It's just like you want to put out what people are going to watch. So right now the biggest trends are builds that are strong. For Victim, it's builds that make family rage quit. It's builds that are going to piss family off. It's builds that are very meta, very strong.
Yeah.
But on family side, what it's been is, high damage, really annoying trap placements. Grandpa trappers, you'll begin to cough in 3 days. I hate grandpa trap so much.
I've seen
But
that. Yeah.
then it's just like anything. I don't know. It's just like anything that just makes the game less enjoyable. Like especially with exploits. That's one thing I just can't stand is people that want to just go and constantly seek out exploits. And here's the thing, I think some people, they'll talk about exploits because they want the devs to see it and raise awareness, but at the same time you have to be careful because you don't know how your audience is going to receive that information. Most of them aren't just going to be like, oh, this is a really bad exploit, the good thing we know about this, let's not use it. No, they're gonna use it because they're like, oh shit, this is strong. This is gonna help me get wins. And it just continues that cycle. Like, the thing was with Johnny. With Johnny and Scout, before the Grandpa rework, he had some issues. After it, he had more issues. But with that, the problem was everyone wanted to know the build. And now, most people know Scout, you run, high max endurance, he's going to be swinging like Sissy, but, a hell of a lot more damage. But now, well, back then, it was I posted the test footage showing like an example of Johnny, and people kept asking me, they're like, why won't you post a build? So then, people know what to look out for. And I'm like, because you people are going to use it. Like, it's just going to promote a worse outcome. I'm like, the devs know. The devs reach out to me. Can I speak English? The devs reached out to me and they were like, hey, can you send us, the information you have on this in the video? So I did.
Oh,
They're
wow.
aware of it. Yeah. Johnny is being taken care of. Don't know when. I hope sooner than later, but
Damn, that's awesome. Wow.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing, is just like I got a lot of hate for it because people wanted Johnny to be in a strong position. And it's like, I understand. I get it. People are like, Johnny has nothing else. Johnny's ability is shit, Johnny can't go through this and that. But at the same time, I think trying to promote exploits, or rather justify them, that is not helping. If you want Johnny to be better, then vouch for improvements on the character. Vouch for him to get a rework on his ability. Don't justify using something beyond broken. And that goes for any character, but specifically, he's been an issue. But I think it's just people, they want the easiest way to win, and that's the thing with exploits. That's the thing, with meta. It's optimizing your gameplay strategies in order to win. And that's what I hate, is because I feel like the thing with content creation, with just the game in general, is a lot of it is kind of shifted from it being about being fun to being overly competitive. And
that's a really good point. You're 100% right on that. I don't feel like this is an easy game to pick up and play unless you play with someone that like kind of guides your hand. Like one thing I did like about Evil Dead the game is that it had an actual playable tutorial that kind of guides you through the meta of Evil Dead the game, But Texas Chainsaw is a lot more complex, and dare I say, I feel like them kind of elevating the asymmetrical formula into something. Like they're taking what people are familiar with, this hide and seek thing, and like elevating it. And that's why I love Texas Chainsaw, because
definitely
it's there's a vibe to it. That's it feels like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and that might curse the cosmetics, because I know a lot of people want like funner cosmetics, and I feel like they got to funnel that through a whole process that gets approved by the people that own the rights, the Tobe Hooper and the Kinkle estate. But as long as it keeps that spirit alive as we go into the second year, I'm excited. I'm glad this game is going on for another year, and I don't know how long it's gonna go on for, but hey, another year is great in my book. Dr. Bear just bought me the game because he's a nice guy, and I'm gonna buy that. I'm definitely spending $20 bucks. That ain't nothing. We need to support this game.
Definitely.
Before you go, I got a spicy question for you. Feel free not to answer it if you don't want to. Do you think Gunn fired Sumo? Because me and Dr. Bear are like, they definitely fired them. I feel like they were not happy with how poorly things were going with Sumo. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't really know, because Sumo did a lot of really, great things for the game. And I mean, they covered a lot.
Dr. Bear's laughing. He's like,
Well, I think with a game like this, I mean, if you look at Sumo, what they've done in the past, the different games that they've, worked on, this, just my personal opinion, I feel like was probably, they bit off more than what they could chew. And
okay, that's a good point.
Just came to be something that was like, this is on a much larger scale, and it's a lot more demanding. And when you have these bugs, and just like when the game first came out, and then they had to switch the crossplay with PC and all that, that was definitely a huge hit. Because I mean, like, this game just comes out, you're trying to get as much press on it as possible, you're trying to get the hype up. And then there's this huge thing, and it's like, oh hey, we gotta kind of cut the cord for a little bit. That, I mean, for me, I didn't really care. I was like, I'm gonna play the game. I don't care if it takes me how long it takes me to get into a match, whatever, as long as I get to play. But if it helps in the long run, which I feel like it has, then I think that was good. But when it comes to the thing with Sumo, I personally think that there just wasn't things were just taking too long. Things were just taking too long to come out.
They were
and,
kind of breaking
you know,
things more than like every time something got released, it broke something in the game. You know,
yeah.
the game got a very alarming state around January, February. Yeah, that was it was pretty bad around January, February. It was the darkest of times. I remember that. We were like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think Sumo, when it came to like their art, when it came to the creation of like those, you know, assets and everything, they did an amazing job. And, you know, I can think of, you know, some of the names of people I've seen, and their work is just amazing. Like the executions are amazing, the animations, like all of the art and the creative part of it, I think they did incredible on. But then it came to the updates, the bug fixes, that sort of stuff, that I feel like, yeah, it was too much to handle at the amplitude at which they, you know, needed to do it. And I mean, that's just at least from an outsider perspective. But I'm sure there were, you know, there's probably a lot more going on, you know, underneath the surface with that transition. But I think Sumo, if I'm remembering, I thought Sumo covered up to the Hands and Maria stuff.
Oh yeah, okay.
I
mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That would make sense. But yeah, it just felt very weird, and the transitional period was kind of a while, but yeah, it was very very interesting. But anyway, I knew we were gonna go over. If you guys love what Fanci has been saying, you want more Fanci, there is the link to Fanci's social medias, YouTube, Twitch, all that. Please give them a follow. This was such a great talk. Thank you for coming on my show.
Anytime.
I am gonna play a match of Texas after this because you got me. Thank you for the pin, Dr. Bear. But yeah, any last words before you go for the Texas fam out there as we enter year 2? We got year 2, guys.
I guess I'll just say, stay positive. I definitely think there's some really great stuff along the horizon. And family mains and victim mains, it doesn't matter who you main at the end of the day. Just enjoy the game. You know, be nice to each other. Don't be too competitive. Don't forget to have fun. You know, don't just be silly. Take a match and just be silly and just, you know, have fun.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Round of applause. Beautiful. Couldn't have said it better myself. Dr. Bear says we gotta play some matches soon. Yeah, oh yeah, we're gonna reach out to you next time we're on.
Yeah, for sure. We're down anytime.
Thank you so much. Have a good night and keep on slaying out there.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right.